In 2019, a business consultant in New York was struggling. Not because he was bad at his job. By every measure, he was excellent. His clients got results. His advice was solid. He knew his stuff better than almost anyone in his field, but he was charging $50 an hour, and nobody was taking him seriously. He'd send proposals. Clients would ghost him. He'd follow up. They'd say they went with someone else. He was watching people with half his knowledge and a fraction of his results charging 5 times what he charged, and winning every single client he was losing. So he did something that made absolutely no logical sense. He raised his prices, not by a little. He went from $50 an hour to $150 an hour overnight. Same guy, same skills, same service, same everything. Within 60 days, he was fully booked. Clients who had previously ghosted him started calling back. New inquiries flooded in. He had a waiting list within 3 months. Nothing changed except the number on his invoice. And that's when he discovered something that once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Something that the most powerful brands in the world have been using on you your entire life. Your brain uses price as a shortcut for quality, and it does it automatically, unconsciously, before you've had a single experience with the product or the person. Here's what's actually happening in your brain when you see a price. Humans are pattern recognition machines. We've spent thousands of years learning to make fast decisions with limited information. And one of the shortcuts our brains developed is this: expensive things are usually better than cheap things. In most of human history, that was true. Higher quality materials cost more. More skilled labor cost more. Better craftsmanship cost more. So our brains wired themselves to use price as a reliable signal of quality. The problem is that wiring doesn't turn off just because we live in a world where price and quality have a far more complicated relationship. Psychologists call it the price-quality heuristic. A heuristic is basically a mental shortcut, and this one is so deeply embedded in human psychology that it operates completely below the level of conscious awareness. You don't think this costs more, therefore it must be better. You just feel it instinctively, automatically, without realizing it's happening. And the businesses that understand this aren't just benefiting from it, they're weaponizing it. In 2008, a group of researchers at Stanford and Caltech ran one of the most fascinating experiments in the history of consumer psychology. They gave participants wine to taste, told them the price of each bottle before they drank it, and then measured not just what people said about the wine, but what was actually happening inside their brains using MRI scanners. The results were extraordinary. When people were told a wine cost more, their brains showed measurably higher activity in the regions associated with pleasure and reward. Not just higher ratings, higher actual neurological pleasure responses. The same wine, drunk by the same person, produced a measurably better experience when they believed it cost more. The expensive wine didn't just taste better, it literally felt better. Physiologically, in the brain, that's not a preference. That's not opinion. That's human neuroscience being exploited by a number on a label. And once you start seeing this, you realize it's everywhere. Rolex doesn't make the most technically precise watch in the world. Not even close. There are watches that keep time more accurately for a fraction of the price. But a Rolex costs tens of thousands of dollars, and because it costs tens of thousands of dollars, your brain tells you it must be extraordinary. It must be worth it. It must represent something important about the person wearing it. The price creates the perception, and the perception creates the desire. Supreme does the same thing with streetwear. A plain white t-shirt with a red box logo costs maybe $4 to manufacture. Retails for $40 to $60, and people line up around the block for it. Why? Because the price and the scarcity signal something. They tell your brain, this is special. This is exclusive. This means something. And here's the one that really gets me. Studies consistently show that people rate the exact same painkiller as more effective when they're told it costs more. Same pill, same dosage, same chemical composition. More expensive version reliably produces better reported pain relief. The price changed the experience of the product, not the product itself. That's how deep this goes. I've seen this work in real time on my own business. I had a product I was selling for what I thought was a fair and reasonable price. I wasn't trying to rip anyone off. I genuinely believed I was pricing it honestly. And sales were okay. Not great, just okay. On a whim, I ran a test. I raised the price significantly, didn't change the product, didn't change the copy, didn't change anything about how I was selling it, just changed the number. Sales went up, returns went down, and the quality of the customers who bought, the ones who engaged, who got results, who came back, got noticeably better because the price was filtering for a different type of buyer. Someone who saw a higher price and thought, this must be worth it. And because they believed it was worth it going in, they treated it like it was worth it. They showed up differently. They got better results. The price didn't just change what people paid, it changed how they behaved after they paid it. This is the thing most business owners fundamentally misunderstand about pricing. They think the price is just a reflection of the cost. Materials plus labor plus margin equals price. A transaction, a number. But the price is communication. It's a signal. It's the first piece of information your customer receives about what kind of product or service they're about to experience. A low price says, this is accessible, this is for everyone, this is a commodity. A high price says, this is special, this is exclusive, this requires a certain kind of person. And your customer's brain receives that signal before they've read a word of your copy, watched a second of your content, or had any actual experience with what you're selling. The consultant in New York didn't get more clients because he got better at his job. He got more clients because he finally started communicating his value in the language his clients' brains were already wired to understand. He stopped telling people he was worth it and started charging like he was. There's a famous quote in the world of pricing psychology that I think about a lot. If you don't value yourself, nobody else will. That sounds like self-help advice, but it's actually a precise description of human neuroscience. Your price is a direct signal to your customer's brain about how much value they should expect to receive. Price yourself too low, and you don't just make less money. You make yourself invisible to the exact customers you want to attract. The people willing to pay more for something are usually the people who take it more seriously, who get more out of it, who tell other people about it. The consultant understood that his real problem was never his skills. It was never his results. It was that he was sending a signal with his pricing that said, I'm not sure I'm worth that much. And his clients' brains received that signal loud and clear. The moment he changed the signal, everything changed. If this made you think differently about the price of something you're selling or something you're about to buy, subscribe to The Corporate Mind. Every week we go inside the psychology that drives the decisions you make every single day without ever realizing it. I'll see you in the next one. I'll see you in the